Greetings, I'm Amber. I've decided to try and do a new series of videos where I do card readings for missing people or mysterious stories that I've read about on the news or on the internet. My intention here is just to get an intuitive impression of the energies surrounding these circumstances and just out of curiosity see what comes up. I'm going to connect to the energies of these events through spirit using distance Reiki and my tarot and oracle cards to kind of trigger a connection to the holographic quantum field of information and the collective consciousness. So the first story that came to my mind when I decided I wanted to do this was the story of a missing person named Brandon Lawson. Brandon went missing just a few minutes before midnight in San Angelo, Texas, on August 9th, 2013. The events surrounding his disappearance are extremely mysterious, and because of just the absolute mystery surrounding everything, there's tons of investigations and speculations all over the internet, on YouTube and Reddit and on lots of different podcasts. So I'm not going to get into all the details now, but I'll link you to some good sites below so that you can go down the rabbit hole on your own if you want to. It's a really deep rabbit hole, and super interesting and just wild. So I'm sure some details of the story are going to come up as I'm interpreting the cards. So let's get to it. So I'm going to offer a 6-card spread, asking the basic 5 W's and H that go into any good investigation: who, what, when, why, where, and how. And each card is going to represent one of those questions, the answer to one of those questions. Okay, so I've shuffled the cards. I'm going to cut the deck. So who, what, why, when, where, and how. So there's a lot of reversed cards here. There's 2 from the suit of Pentacles, 1 from the suit of Wands, 1 from the suit of Cups, the Fool, and the New Moon, because this tarot deck includes the moon phases. So first I want to look at what it says in the guidebook for the symbolism of the new moon, because that's what come up for the who question. So I feel like the symbolism of the new moon here, the first 2 words that stood out to me on the page in the guidebook were soulmate and companion. But I feel like that's not, intuitively, it's coming through that that's not the meaning I'm supposed to be taking away here. It's almost like it's dark. The who is like he doesn't even know who it was. Like it was a stranger maybe, or somebody that wasn't known to him prior. For what, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And the imagery is dead and wintry. The Five of Pentacles would represent scarcity, need, hunger. So the what question is like, what does the situation involve? And scarcity, need, hunger, that's like desperation. It's, the situation involved desperation. And like, so far, these two cards, my intuition is telling me that whoever made him disappear was unknown to him beforehand, and they made him disappear out of desperation. Like, it was not premeditated. It was like a very circumstantial, quick moment, quick decision that was made. So a little background on what happened. He was driving to, I think it was his dad's house in a little after 11:30 at night, on a long stretch of road where there wasn't really anything around, just fields and stuff, and his car ran out of gas, and the car ended up abandoned on the side of this road. A little while after he ran out of gas, he called 911. So there's a 911 call, and it's very mysterious and weird, which just adds to the whole mystery of everything, because he's on the phone and he sounds like he's out of breath, and you can't really understand exactly what he's saying, but he's alluding to the fact that he's been chased, that he ran into somebody, and that they've been chasing him. So there's definitely a lot of speculation in other forums and stuff that I've read, or podcasts I listened to, that suggest that maybe he came upon something that he wasn't supposed to see, or people doing something illegal, that his presence threatened their perceived safety around not getting caught in the situation, and so they ended up kidnapping him or killing him or something because of that. So in the Y position, we have the 10 of Wands. So I feel like, again, whoever was involved in his disappearance, they were in a desperate place. They felt the weight of the world on their shoulders already. So they acted out of this desperation. The win question is represented by the Six of Pentacles in reverse. And the Six of Pentacles would represent generosity and charity, and a sense of working together. So actually, my impression here is that there was more than one person. There was more than one person acting out of desperation and attacking Brandon. So in the where position is the Page of Cups. So in the imagery of this card, he's standing by a big body of water right on the shore. He's looking up, and his face, the expression on his face is almost like dumbfounded, but not scared, almost in awe. And it's interesting. So I clear my mind of any speculative information I may have picked up over my time researching this story before I started using these cards. But there's something that's like hitting me in my mind here. Because one thing I've heard, and I recently just saw somebody just commenting about their idea in this Reddit thread on Brandon Lawson. And she was saying that he may have been dumped in a big, like, oil well that is connected to a rig. And I don't know much about this kind of stuff, but Brandon did work for oil rigs or for some kind of an oil company where he was working outside on these sites. And apparently, based on the stuff that other people, the research that other people have done, and you can find this stuff easily on Reddit, you can look on Google Maps at the area that his truck was abandoned and where he supposedly was when he called 911 and disappeared. The area had some oil working sites or oil rig sites or something like that. So apparently there's like big pits of water and oil that once the site is finished and they're no longer working there, they'll cover them up, fill them and cover them up. And because there's oil in the hole, the body could very easily just sink to the bottom and never be seen again. So I don't know, I find it really interesting because none of these other cards have any water, no big bodies of water. It's all on land. And then the where card is representing an ocean, like standing right at the edge of the shore, or like actually emerging from the ocean and like calling up out of the waters. Is almost like the imagery I see here. Even though he's not coming up out of the water, it is valid to note that in the guidebook description, they do describe this image as him just freshly emerged out of the water. So I don't know, my intuitive impression here is that this is representing where Brandon is now. And it's almost like I see him here like calling up out of a body of water or some kind of a liquid connected to the land. So then the last card, the how position, we have the Fool reversed. So how did the event or the situation come about? The Fool reversed to me just says that this was a total accident. Like it was just Brandon being at the completely wrong place at the completely wrong time. He came upon some nefarious people, perhaps people who were committing some kind of a crime in a group together. I keep right now seeing two people, but who knows what that means. But that's what I keep on feeling, is that it was two people that he didn't know, that were already feeling very desperate, whatever crime they were committing at the time that he may have come upon them. So the story that I'm seeing here, after I've gone through all the cards, is that Brandon, his car ran out of gas, and he went to go search, like walking, you know, on the street. He did call his brother to bring him gas. But then it was just a few minutes after he had called his brother is when he called 911. So perhaps in between calling his brother and calling 911 is when he came upon some scene happening in a field off the road or something like that. Maybe he saw these people and thought he could approach them and ask them for help, but approaching them is what cost him his life, because they were on the side of the road doing something out of desperation, trying to gain, maybe, you know, with both of these pentacle cards reversed, I feel like whatever they were doing, whatever crime these people may have been committing, could have been, you know, trying to gain something monetary, but doing so dishonestly and illegally. And because they were already in high alert and also already in the middle of committing an illegal act, it didn't take much for it to step over and cross the line into like kidnapping or murder or violence. I feel like Brandon came upon at least two strangers who were committing a crime. They chased him, injured him, and perhaps buried him in a body of water, which then later would have been filled in and covered up, and that's why his body's never been found. And none of this was premeditated. He didn't know these people beforehand. It was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. A very unfortunate set of circumstances. So that would be my intuitive interpretation based on the cards that came up here. Again, this is total speculation. Just curiously exploring the energetic realms around this very mysterious story. If you have any further comments or intuitions about the Brandon Lawson case, feel free to discuss in the comment section below. If you liked this video, click the like button, click subscribe for more. If you happen to have any mysterious stories or missing people that you would like to have a reading done about, absolutely leave that in the comments as well, or message me with suggestions. And maybe I'll do videos based on your suggestions. And stay tuned for another one coming up soon. Blessings to all, and thank you.